Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singotoka.
My name is Enrique and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Usur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, 16-year-old dies after bullying. Buses and trucks blamed for road wear. And Fiji Navy joins in search for submerged car.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
A 16-year-old student who died in hospital after being allegedly assaulted while watching the Nawaka Sevens last month was buried this morning. Mosese Kumbunavunua's father is calling on relevant authorities to provide answers as it's been weeks since the incident. Philippe Naikaso reports there's been no action taken in regard to the suspect believed to be a student who allegedly assaulted the Ratunavula College student.
Mosese Kumbunavunoa was watching the Nawaka Sevens last month when he was allegedly assaulted by a bully, resulting in him falling and hitting his head on a steel rod. A few days later, he was unwell and taken to hospital where his condition deteriorated. He passed away almost a month later. There were no words to describe the pain felt by Mosese's family and friends this morning as they watched his body leave Navakai village for the last time.
His sudden death really hurts me. All I've been doing is just thinking back during his 16 years on this earth. Mosese was my favorite, and I will really miss him.
The victim's father, Kavikini Varo, says it hurts even more since there's been no justice. However, police say they're investigating the case but have yet to find the suspect who is alleged to have bullied and assaulted the Ratunavula College student. The family is calling on parents and police to closely monitor their children during public events.
What has happened to my son, I don't want any other parent to go through. So I'm calling on the police to please thoroughly investigate the matter as to why my son was punched in the first place. He was still alive when he lodged the report, but still there has been no answers.
The family of Ratunavula College as a whole, we are in a mourning period till today, but we rejoice with the Lord that He is in the hands of the Lord, knowing of his spiritual background.
Mosese was described as a kind, well-behaved boy who had dreams of representing Fiji in rugby. Philippe Naikaso, FBC News.
Fiji Corrections Service Commissioner Francis Keane says they will investigate the recent escape case of Tevita Nganganivalu. Nganganivalu escaped from the Mboro Minimum Prison Complex early Thursday morning and was recaptured today in Vungale Lami. Nganganivalu's case precedes several others that the FCS has been challenged with, albeit successful recaptures were made. Commissioner Keane says they will reassess their security measures for serving inmates.
We're thankful to the team that they've successfully recaptured the SKP who left our care yesterday. Investigations are continuing. Once we see the outcome, the findings of these investigations, and we'll ensure that we try and implement strategies to cover the gaps that led to this escape.
Fiji Roads Authority has revealed that the lifespan of roads has dropped from 25 years to 9 years, and lifespan of bridges has dropped from 80 years to 43 years. FRA Chief Executive Jonathan Moore says a study was carried out which has pointed out that all this has been caused by overloading on our roads. Catherine Krishna with this report.
The Fiji Roads Authority says overloading is causing potholes on many sections of our roads, and it is costing a lot to get them fixed.
If you overload vehicles on a road by 30%, you're reducing the life of the road from 25 years down to 9 years, 8 to 9 years, which means that we have to replace the road 3 times instead of once.
Jonathan Moore says due to overloading, many bridges have also been replaced.
When you design a bridge for at least 80-year life, generally 100, but we'd accept 80 years. We did a study on 46 bridges around Fiji, and we've calculated the average life of those bridges is 43 years. So we've lost almost 50% of the life of the bridges.
The FRA says funds now used for replacement and rehabilitation work can be used for other projects if drivers follow the rules.
Cost of that loss in life of bridges, we're talking hundreds of millions, many of hundreds of millions of dollars. We have the same situation in jetties, we have the same situation in crossings, and if we were to try and accommodate excess loading on the roads, we would be talking in terms of billions of dollars to replace the roads.
The authority has revealed that buses and trucks are the main perpetrators. Moore says they're working with the enforcement bodies in this regard as this issue has become very frustrating. Catherine Krishnaev, BC News.
A team of Navy divers joined the police at around midday today to search the car that's been underwater since Wednesday. However, the search operations have been suspended this afternoon due to unfavourable weather conditions. FBC News can confirm the family of 17-year-old Taslim Ali, believed to be inside the vehicle, has also been assisting the operation team at the site. The strong current and the low visibility was a major hindrance for the divers. Police officers based in Al Sori are also at the site, trying to control some members of the public from interfering in the operation. Taslim Ali is believed to be the only person in the car that veered off the road in Kasavu before plunging into the river 3 days ago. However, police have not confirmed the number of passengers inside the car, as there's been no sighting of the vehicle yet. Boat operators have been warned to adhere to warnings and practice boat safety at all times. Maritime Safety Authority Acting Chief Executive Captain Philip Hill says small boat operators are aware that night travel is prohibited, as small boats do not have navigation lights as well as any means of electronic navigational aids. He adds travelling passengers are equally responsible for making sound decisions to cancel voyages if the weather is unfavourable. Captain Hill says most marine incident reports received are of small boats measuring less than 10 metres in length and are the high-risk maritime travellers. 4 days until the curtains are drawn for the 52nd Asian Development Bank's annual Board of Governors meeting, and preparations are fully underway. Chair of the Board of Governors, Ayaz Said Qayyum, says with more than 3,000 people expected to attend the event, this is also a great opportunity to showcase Fiji's tourism industry. Said Qayyum adds the meeting will not only focus on issues of urgent attention, but will also allow for the establishment of bilateral relationships.
It is a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to, as Fijians, as a country, as Fiji, to showcase ourselves. To the wider region and indeed to the world. I mean, we have CNBC having a particular session with 80 million viewers at least. We've got one of the top journalists who will actually be the host, Drury. Now, so let's come together as a nation to have that level of professionalism. If we are able to tell the rest of the world we can host such a large event, which has never been hosted in Fiji before, of international stature. Then more people will be interested in coming to Fiji.
Meanwhile, a dry run for the meeting will be held tomorrow in Nadi to locate any possible issues that can be ironed out before the event. The ADB meeting in Nadi starts next Wednesday and runs through Sunday. Still to come, workplace injuries decreasing and death during citizen's arrest brings a suspended sentence. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, nambandua na sere.
Hoya uvasit sai sai lambasa, ya ndo talita ina warong Nambula FM nambandua na sere.
Gua do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warong Nambula FM, nambandua na sere.
Wana tunga Nambula FM, nambandua na sere nambua.
Na vengo fani na tao.
Close to 1,700 cases of workplace injury and death were recorded last year. The Employment Ministry says that of this number, close to 1,540 cases involved injuries, and there were about 150 deaths. Kritika Kumar reports.
The Employment Ministry says most injuries and deaths are recorded between the age of 36 to 55.
The main cause has been persons falling at the workplace, which totals 1,232, followed by handling material, which is around 986 cases, then power-driven machinery, which accounts to around 776 reported cases.
He says the average payout for the injury and death in the workplace is around $2.6 million per year.
In 2018, 537 cases were paid out, which included 523 injury cases and 14 death cases.
Employment Minister Parveen Kumar says there are some areas which needs policies to reduce the number of accidents at workplace.
We would like to work towards to prevent these injuries at the workplace. I mean, that's our objective. That's the government's objective as well.
Meanwhile, the total number of cases reported annually has decreased by about 200 since 2017. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The Tuivaturova Vilimone Vondanaivalu was laid to rest today at the chiefly village of Korota Sere. Vondanaivalu passed away at the age of 68 in Suva on the 17th of this month. He had been ill for about 4 months. The Tuivaturova was a former civil servant, serving in the Ministry of Agriculture for 30 years before retiring. He served in various capacities in Nausori, Suva, Lambasa, Taviuni and Mbua. Vondanaivalu is survived by his 66-year-old wife Coletta, 4 children and 10 grandchildren. A 59-year-old retired military officer who wanted to make a citizen's arrest but ended in the death of a 22-year-old man in Raiwai almost 4 years ago has been handed a suspended sentence by the Suva High Court. Wame Wangavanua was charged with 1 count of murder. However, he was found guilty of the lesser charge of manslaughter. Pranita Prakash reports.
The court heard that on November 23, 2015, Wangavanua used a tree branch and attacked the victim, who was breaking into his new car on Kia Street in Raiwai, Suva. As a result, the victim sustained serious injuries to his head and later passed away at the hospital. The High Court judge said that according to the reports of the Raiwanga police, 20 cars are broken into this area every month and people are living in fear of their property and their lives. The judge said the incident has caused heartache to the family, but the incident started due to the deceased intoxicated behavior. The judge also said that public should not be discouraged from making citizens' arrests but must remain within the law. Wangavanua has been sentenced to 3 years imprisonment, suspended for 3 years. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Office of the Director of Public Prosecution today requested the Lautoka High Court to allow it 7 more days to respond to an alleged airline drug smuggler's bail application. Justin Ho is alleged to have facilitated in illegally exporting 2 parcels weighing more than 2 kilograms of cocaine and illicit drugs on December 23rd last year. It's also alleged on the same day the 28-year-old, along with an accomplice, engaged in dealing for transfer, transport, supply, use, manufacture and sale of cocaine and illicit drugs. The defense argued that the DPP had ample time to respond to Ho's bail application, as 16 days were initially given to respond. However, this was disregarded by the judge, who allowed the state 7 more days to respond. The alleged drug smuggler was not present in court due to a misunderstanding. He has been further remanded and will reappear next Thursday. The Mirchi FM's Bam Mehedam competition is down to 15 competitors. 31 hours since the challenge began. 5 contestants have been out of the competition so far after spilling cups of water beside them, whereas 1 contestant gave up due to muscle cramps. The competitors will sit for 4 hours straight before a 20-minute break. This will continue until there is only 1 person left sitting, who will walk away with the house worth $60,000. Competitor Sarah Tuipolotu says anything can happen, and she's only hoping for the best.
I was so lucky to be the wildcard entry of this competition. I had only 8 days to prepare myself for it, and I'm really ready. I'm challenging contestants in the Bam Mehedam today, and I just pray that I'll make it.
5 lives have been lost at sea in our waters over the past 3 years. Maritime Safety Authority Chief Executive Captain Philip Hill says investigations were carried out and measures have been put in place to ensure safety. Savada Thambor reports.
One incident has involved a crew member who fell overboard and was not recovered. Another one lost a leg and died afterwards, while 3 others passed away when a cargo boat sank at the Azores.
Penalties, yes, have been put
on those who were involved in the accidents. For the MLCKY, that one is still pending. That needs to go into a court of inquiry, and that's when the court will decide as to what penalties will come out of that. The case with the crew that fell overboard on Nambo Walu, that has been closed, and compensation has been provided.
The MSF has put in place extra measures to ensure key structural systems on board the vessels are up to standard.
For example, the ram or the loading ram on all vessels. We will have a concentrated inspection on these vessels, and to ensure all the securing measures, the extra security measures are put in place to minimize those incidents from happening. Yeah?
Meanwhile, two investigators are looking into the opening of the roll-on roll-off ramp of the MV Liahona 2 while it was on its way to Kandavu last week. Captain Hill has confirmed that the results of the investigation could be known in the next 2 weeks. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
Later in sports with Jamie, AFL Fiji officials to scout players during the AFL Nines tournament this weekend. But first, Rachel is here with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break, SBSC and New Zealand exchange to partner. And in going Fiji and China to collaborate on cultural programs. Stay with us.
Voila, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singapore.
Gold FM.
Leading business tonight, a memorandum of understanding signed this afternoon between the South Pacific Stock Exchange and its counterpart from New Zealand is designed to enhance collaboration between the two exchanges. South Pacific Stock Exchange Chair Nur Rano Ali says the NZ Stock Exchange is a larger market and more advanced in many product developments, so the SPSC will gain a lot from them. Dr. Ali says this partnership will see greater collaboration and exchange of skills that Fiji can tap into.
Exchange of ideas, exchange of staff going across New Zealand, which we were discussing a while ago, to be able to learn and develop it further and avoid, the inroads into a more global platform through this relationship. So this is the kinds of things we'll be benefiting from, and we're very excited.
And we now join Sanifa from HFC Bank with the latest from the Money World.
The US dollar hovered near a 2-year high against its peers today, supported by strong capital goods orders which rose to the highest level in 8 months, showing strength in retail sales and exports. This also helped ease concerns of the world's biggest economy sharply slowing. The US is awaiting its first quarter GDP data, which could further reinforce the greenback's upbeat standing. The Aussie has lost roughly 2% this week, during which it sank to a near 4-month low. The soft domestic inflation data boosted the prospect of a rate cut by the Reserve Bank of Australia, which saw the Aussie lose momentum. Meanwhile, New Zealand earned more from exports in March than it has in any other month ever. The solid return was driven by higher exports of dairy meat and forestry products. That's all from HFC Bank for this week. Vinaka.
Thanks, Anifa. Here are today's exchange rates as it was set this morning. While the US dollar continued to rise, the Fiji dollar made some gains as well, rising against the greenback, the Chinese yuan, the Aussie dollar, the PNG kina, and the euro. However, our dollar slipped slightly against the suddenly stronger New Zealand dollar and the Japanese yen. As for the commodities market, it was mixed. Oil prices dropped almost $1 to under $65 per barrel. Gold rose over $4 to $1,270 per ounce, and silver rose slightly to $14.99 per ounce. And Dingo in Fiji tonight, Education Minister Rosie Akbar has called on Fijians travelling on cultural exchange programs to ensure that they bring back what they learn. Speaking at the annual meeting for the 2018 Cultural Exchange Program for Fiji and China, Akbar says those chosen for such programs should appreciate what they learn and return with vast knowledge which they can share with their societies.
These cultural exchange programs that our officials go to, I hope we will be able to see the impact it's going to have on how we can build our capacities within, how we can appreciate the work of artists that we have, whether it comes in the form of poetry, whether it comes in the form of dances, whether it comes in the form of artwork.
And that's it from the Business Desk for this week. Have a great weekend, but Jamie's up next with sports.
Thanks, and good evening. Coming up tonight, Fiji to host 2 PNC games, and Fijiana need to improve to avoid relegation. Details after the break.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Pritika from Jackson Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Vodafone Fiji Under-20 coach Kelele Owere says they're ready to take on New Zealand in the Oceania Rugby Championship in Australia tonight. He adds they are fully aware of the tenacity of the Baby Blacks given their 5 straight Oceania Championship wins. However, they are focused on their game plan. Kuroi Tandulala reports.
Emosi Tungiri says they are confident of a good outing against the Baby Blacks.
I think everyone's in our team's got big expectations. I know the boys believe in each other and they believe in the structures and the learnings from our coaches, and that's all. Well, I think it's just us. If we believe in ourselves, then stick to our structures and don't worry about the others. The result should take care of itself.
Leawere says players are gelling well and did some vigorous training over the week in Australia prior to taking on New Zealand.
To play under lights as well, to get used to that game against New Zealand will be at 5. The boys tested some combinations and all that. Boys did all right, but I'm not worried about the scoreboard. But just a few walk-ons that we've seen that the boys needed to polish up.
Our Under-20 side wants to kick off the Oceania Championship with a winning start on the Gold Coast tonight. Kuroi Tandulala, FBC Sports.
World Rugby has confirmed the Fiji Airways Flying Fijians will play 2 Pacific Nations Cup matches at Suva's NZ Stadium. A week before that, the national side will take on the New Zealand Maori in a test match at the same venue. Following that match, the Flying Fijians will kick off their PNC campaign in Japan at the Kamaishi Memorial Stadium on the 27th of July. Fiji then returns to the NZ Stadium to host Canada on August 3rd and Samoa on the 10th. The World Rugby funded competition features Canada, Fiji, Japan, Samoa, Tonga and the USA and will be played from the 27th of July to the 10th of August. World Rugby Chairman Bill Beaumont says the PNC promises to be the most competitive and fascinating to date, with all 6 teams making their final Rugby World Cup 2019 preparations. The Fiji Airways Fijiana Sevens will find it even tougher in the next round of the Women's World Series in Canada. The Canada Sevens will be a vital tournament, not only in the race for the title, but also to qualify for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. The Fijiana will meet USA, the bronze medalists from the Japan tournament last month, then 5th-ranked France, followed by Spain. While the race for Olympic qualification has tightened after the Japan Sevens, the same is true of the battle to avoid relegation from the series, with Spain, Fiji and China separated by just 6 points with 2 rounds to go. The Fijiana will need to step up and go further in the competition to have a better chance of returning to the series as a core team next season. The top 4 teams in the 2019 series will confirm their place in the Olympics next year alongside host nation Japan. Meanwhile, the Canada Sevens will be held on the 11th and 12th of next month. The Fiji Pearls maintained their winning form in the second test match with a 64-57 victory over Singapore last night. The Pearls were dominant early in the game and led the host side 17-12 at the end of the first quarter. Consistent attack and defense from the Pearls forced Singapore into making errors and gave them a 38-23 lead in the second quarter. The Fijian side extended the goal difference to 16 in the third quarter. However, Singapore picked up their pace in the final round to narrow the losing margin to 7 goals. While Rewa football is hoping to make it 2 years in a row when they take on the 2019 Fiji Fact, last year's losing finalist is aiming for redemption. Lambasa football president Rayaz Khan says the Mbambasing Lions want to go all the way to the winners' podium at this year's tournament. Finishing as runners-up last year, Khan says they're under a lot of pressure to do better. He adds they're expecting a tough encounter against Suva in its opening pool match at 3:30 p.m. next Friday. A lot will be at stake tomorrow at the AFL Fiji Nines. The pre-season tournament, which will be held at Albert Park, is an important one for the sport's parent body. 10 teams will be part of the competition, which is also a golden opportunity for players to impress selectors with the AFL World Cup just a year away. Fiji finished 8th in the last World Cup.
This year is a very important year for AFL Fiji. It's an important year because this year we are going to select our team for the 2020 World Cup, which is next year. We want to prepare early. We want to see that we get the best players to be selected to compete in the 2020 World Cup.
The Wellington Phoenix has missed out on a home playoff match in football's A-League competition after Adelaide won in Brisbane yesterday. A brave understrength Warriors side has been undone by the Melbourne Storm. The Warriors coming within inches of victory, only to be denied by a controversial decision. Hurricanes coach John Plumtree is demanding more out of his team ahead of tomorrow's big Super Rugby derby against the Chiefs. Meanwhile, the Chiefs will miss the services of Brodie Retallick this weekend, who's on All Blacks leave, while prop Atu Molia is finally back for his first game of the year following a serious leg injury last season. That's it from sports tonight. Join Angie later on with weather. And in the world of the weird and wonderful, a Japanese cafe is allowing guests the opportunity to sip tea and pet pigs. Details coming up.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से जैसे फ्रेंडी नॉर्थ मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Tonight's new media features one of the best smart home devices so far this year, an LG B8 OLED TV. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Great Friday with so much happening around, and then there's rain. But don't worry, these showers will go away very soon. How soon, you may ask? We'll find out in a while. Taking a look in the west, this is the perfect vacation spot. Even the showers are nice enough to hold off. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, constant showers throughout the day. And up north, more of the light, beautiful sunny periods. At sea, southeast winds 25 knots, rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 12:52 a.m. with low tide at 6:46 a.m. Sunrise at 6:18. For tomorrow, showers will finally ease, giving us a great Saturday for shopping. Tomorrow's temps, all major centers will fluctuate between 28 to 31 degrees. And looking further on to Sunday, light drizzles will be active, but there is no indications of heavy rain, so happy weekend. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, do you think Fiji can win the Under-20 Oceania Rugby Championship this year?
high chance, like 100% chance of winning, since there's a lot of talent there with everyone. So yeah, I think so. We are good to go.
With the right attitude and the right mindset going into the game, they definitely have this in the bag.
I know Fiji has what it takes to win the Under-20 Oceania Championship.
Yes, definitely. With the way they have been playing, there is no doubt that they can win this year.
Move over, dogs, owls, bears, hedgehogs and cats. The world of the weird and wonderful tonight shows Japan's newest animal cafe. It features adorable teacup pigs. Recapping the main stories for tonight, 16-year-old dies after bullying. Buses and trucks blamed for road wear. And Fiji Navy joins in search for submerged vehicle. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment this week, we're asking, should small boat operators be penalised on the spot for not adhering to weather warnings? Visit our FBC website to answer. Our shot of the day, sent in by Itambera Usuramo, captured glimpses of the sun at the playground. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Bye for now.
Bula, neva ngo malakai leloma, ngo ngai nakas on duwa rong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
Hoya uvasit sai sa Ilambasa, yang do talita na warong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
Guya do kimeli, ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere. Wana tunga ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere maluan.
Na ngo fane na tao no singa toka, kito do talita ka ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.